welcome back to the Tuesday Night Shiur. So we were saying that mentality. You said we were structured and born. We were raised this way, really, to be very programmed to have a standard, certain life goals and schedule, and the whole life basically planned out like a schedule, right? Like a calendar. And we were saying that usually, I told you you're gonna come back. What did I tell you? What was I saying? Because our parents, our grandparents for sure, they were all blue collar workers. Even the businessmen, they were blue collar workers. That was just mentality, and it's not their fault that this came from communism. See, wherever you live, that mentality, it applies, it goes into the people. We think a certain way, we act a certain way because of the society. Yeah. So when you come and you say, oh, I'm gonna do this, A, B, C, D, and we don't accomplish it because we live in America, the new world, the free world, right? Because things just don't happen in a programmatic way. It just doesn't happen because it's not any more normal. My friend was telling me he was going to an engagement party. Listen to this. When I heard this, I got shocked. Of a guy that dated 345 girls. Something like that. Around 345. He got engaged to 345 girl. You know what that is? Back in the day, it was 345 maybe single people in town. You know, you had to pick one of those people and call it a day. Imagine going out with the whole town. You know what it is? Nowadays, this is another reason why it's so hard to get married. Because in the back of your head, there's another one. There's another option. The shadchan's going to find me this. I have a good job. I'm good looking. Before you know it, over 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, a year, 2 years. Before you know, how old are you? When are you getting married? You're in your head like, I'm still young. We live in a society. We get married 34, 35 until you settle down. The truth is, and this is why it's so important. This is why we're in the end of days. What does the end of days mean? I saw a video of some young Jewish guy telling a Muslim that the world is going to be finished at the year 6000. It's not true. That's not what it means. The Midrash says the world is going to elevate to a new realm at the year 6000. We're still going to be living. What's the point? I come to this world, I serve, I do, keep Torah mitzvot. Suddenly you're going to tell me the end button, we're all done? Hell with that. I'd rather go do Averot, that means, right? Throw it all. I need this? I don't need this. You're going to enjoy myself. Chas v'chali, that's not true. There's no restart button. There's an elevation button. We start to look at things and see things totally different in a different lens. And that's the most amazing thing about Torah and mitzvot. What's the difference between Judaism and every other religion? In our Torah, there is a place for everybody. In Christianity, if you don't accept Yoshka, you're done. In Islam, if you don't accept Muhammad, you're done. In Judaism, you only need to believe and know there's one God. Now, you might have a different set of rules because you're a Gentile, a Goy, and I have a different set of rules because I'm a Jew. But that makes totally sense. You can't say that the president has his job and my job as a garbage man is the same thing. It's two different jobs. We both are equally needed in society in order to have a functioning world. But don't tell me that you and I have the same job. We don't. We have two different jobs, but your job consists of something more publicly important, and mine consists of more city type important. It doesn't mean you're different. Sometimes you read the comments that they leave on the shiurim and they say, oh, you did. That's not true. Those goyim are stupid. That's why they say that. They're uneducated.
You turn them off?
No, I don't. I like to leave the comments on.
Yeah.
I leave it badafka. I like to read the reviews. I like to read people's questions. For me, it's good. What I need to touch up, what I need to see, who do I need to gear. Okay, goyim also watch it. Good. The Gemara says that the only reason why we're in Galut, the truth is, why are we in Galut? To make more converts. Now, what's the difference about Judaism and every other religion? We don't go after them. We don't force them. If they see it and they understand it and they break out of that shell and realize how is a nation that's still in existence out of so many thousands of years of persecution, then they have the bardat. I want to get to know these people. But if they don't, then it's their fault. The Rambam says in the beginning he writes in a couple of places, the purpose of Christianity and Islam was for one thing, was to bring the understanding of one God. That was their purpose. The truth is, without them, they wouldn't know all these biblical stories. It would have been forgotten by the Goyim. The Jews always had it. We never changed. We will never change. This is who we are as a people. And this is extremely important because in order to spiritually and physically succeed, you have to remember where you come from. You have to know your background. Who am I? No, not that I'm Sephardi or Ashkenaz. I'm Bukhari or Persian. I'm Moroccan, or I'm from Hungarian, or I'm Polish, or Yemenite. That's not what I mean. To know your background means know where it all started from. It started from Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov. You have 3 giants, 3 human beings. The Torah writes, we're going to get into the story of Avraham Avinu today. The Torah writes the story like they were humans. You would assume that they were angels, they were flying. No, they were humans that liked to be with people. They sinned also. They also had arguments with their wives, as you see. They also had problems with their kids, as you see. Everything is the same. But what? What's different that they have that we have to strive to be? They had such a devotion to God that regardless of all their hardships that came to them and happened to them, they still always turn to who? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we see in this week's parasha, right? What's this week's parasha? Kisei? Ashkenaz? And I'm joking. Kitetse! And when they shall go, Kitetse lemelchama al oivecha, when you will go to war with your enemy. And the Torah goes into details, and you find a beautiful woman. What do? You can take her and be with her, but if you want to continue to live with her, you have to first make her disgusting. Why do we have to make her disgusting? To see if your tava that you had, was it really a bad tava, or was it a tava that you really want to have a family and get connected? And this is also a key in life. When you want to get married, you don't really know anything about her. You think you know. So what's that pull? That pull is that desire, that attractiveness, right? Okay, you got it. Suddenly you get married. And what happens? Oh, and what happens? All that garbage that was inside that person for years, based on their teva, their attitude, based on their the way they grew up, based on their emotions, all come out. They come out to who? To the spouse. Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that sense of openingness should only be to the spouse, because the spouse is the only one that can really handle it. He or she can handle the other person's craziness. And the craziness that the other person is giving to the other person is for you to become a better person.
So it goes both ways.
Of course, no one said not. Of course. There's things that you're going to do that she's going to think to you, and there's things that she's going to do, you're going to say, Sean, she's a woman or she's a man, you're going to say, right? Same thing. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. Alright? She's going to one day say, I thought I married a man. What are you doing? And you're going to say, oh, what are you going to do? Hey, you're going to have to shape up. And so on and so forth as it goes. But what's the key at the end? The key is to always look at the positive in the person. Successful relationships. I don't want to get into relationships. My shiur today is about something totally different. The success in anything is to see the positive in it. If you don't see the positive in it, then what happens? You feel, what's the point? Having that sense of what's the point is not successful. Put it down. Leave one sushi on that side. Let them take whatever they want, and you'll transfer it. Everyone, please take. There's not take plate. Come on. So the point is to what? To come to a realization and an understanding. Why did I initially want it? Right? When a man initially wants to get married, right? Even though he wants to have physical intimacy, which is normal, you're not crazy for wanting that. Without that tava, you will never get married. and he wants to have a nice, beautiful wife and an understanding woman, right? All these things are all understanding. At the same time, you have to realize all that's good and dandy in the back. In the back, there should be a closet. Open the closet, and you'll find whatever you want. You'll come to an understanding that all that you were seeking, I'm also seeking it for what? To have a normal life. Peace, the greatest hell on this earth, is not coming home to a peaceful wife, to a peaceful husband. It's hell on this earth to come home to a broken recording machine. La 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 la, or the opposite, vice versa. You just can take a gun and shoot yourself in the head. That's what it is. So that's really the beginning of this week's. See, when the Torah says all these ideas and stories, it's not a storybook. Yes, please, if you can inform me. It's not a storybook. It's a sefer that's trying to teach us morals and how we can relate it to our day-to-day life. How can I relate this concept of a man going to war and finding a woman? Kakoi war and kakoi woman. You're going to go right now, go to a war, find a woman and be with them? No, you're not. You're scared of your own shadow. You're going to go fight? You hear a mice walking on the street, you're already running 5 blocks away. What's the pshat? The pshat is the fact that if you were in a certain position, a life position, right, and you get to a certain place, you have to ask yourself, am I serious about it, or am I just wasting time? Do I want to go all out, or I don't want to go all out? What am I doing? What am I doing about it?
All out in terms of what?
All out in the sense of, am I going to devote myself to it 100% or not?
To the person or to the cause?
To the anything. It's not only, you see, it's not only about the marriage. It's also about your relationship. No, I'm good. This sushi was donated by who? No, his name's Rabbi said nothing to be shy about. This was donated for Max. For Shlema?
Yeah.
For Shlema to who?
Or Ben Nava.
It's Ben or Ben Nava, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, Rav Asher Gadaev for him. Now, here's what I really wanted to get into that most people don't really talk about. At the end of the first Aliyah, it talks about someone called a Ben Sorer Umorer. What's a Ben Sorer Umorer? A Ben Sorer Umorer is a child that's under bar mitzvah. Under bar mitzvah. That doesn't listen to his parents and is very brazen, very disrespectful. The Gemara goes into concepts. He sits on his father's chair. He eats red wine. He eats red meat. He drinks wine. He's basically a very destructive child. And the father and mother have to take this child to the Beit Din, to the Jewish court, and the Jewish court has to determine if he falls under that category, and then he gets the death penalty. Yeah. Wow. It's also recorded that this never ever happened in history. This concept of Ben Sorer Umorer never actually happened in history. Why such a harsh? Because if you understood that the person that gave you the opportunity to live, he didn't give you life, but he gave you the opportunity to live, and instead of showing value and respect to that person, especially in your youth, when you're a child, when you're 7, 8 years old, then you have no reason to live.
As a kid.
You're only saying that because you live in this generation. We have to understand something. This generation, sir, give her water. She wanted water. Give water there. We look at it in this generation because even 20 years ago, I would dare you to speak back to your parents. You would have gotten, I don't know what in your head or in your brain. You were scared to even talk back. Even look. Your father used to speak to you, you would look down. That's how scared you were. Like, you would say anything, you would shake, right? The hockey stick would come out, right? You'd be scared what's going to happen if you say one word. Hey, you can pour me that too, right? You'd be scared. This generation, we have a problem. We have a sickness. We think We have to change the environment to the benefit of that little child. Not knowing what are we actually doing when we do that? We're handicapping the child for life. Because if a parent is always going to change the surrounding, change the environment, or always say that the child is right and the teacher is always wrong, or the parent is always wrong, and the neighbor is always wrong, the rabbi is always wrong, everyone's always wrong besides the child, what are you actually raising? You're raising an entitled fraud child. A child that's going to take advantage, and when he's going to reach the real world, talking about the real world means where mommy and daddy is not there anymore, 18, right? No more, you're on your own. Life's gonna hit that child so hard like a train, he's gonna be lost forever. And those are unfortunately the kids that run to drugs, and they have a bad girl, they end up to be the most nebuch. Why? Because they never got the tools, the kelim, that they needed in order to physically live and serve life. The Torah goes into not to such a drastic case. I think he was already bar mitzvah. There was a man, his name was Yishmael. Ishmael, he was a Pere Adam.
That was Avram's second.
Avram's child. I'm using the word child for a reason. Avram's child from his wife's maid. That his wife allowed him to marry. You heard what I just told you? His wife allowed him to marry her, that it should be a merit that she should also have children. Midah keneged midah. And she had Yitzhak Avinu, of course. We all know the story. Which was his son. You hear the difference?
Yeah,
Yitzchak was his son,
was
and Ishmael was a child. It's two different things.
I always wanted to ask, the Torah also blessed Ishmael.
Correct? 100%. No one denies that. And don't you see? Don't you see the whole Arabian Peninsula? Yemen, Jordanians are not from Ishmael. He did. I'm not saying that. The people got a mistake. Arabs come from Ishmael, not Muslims.
No.
Muslims is a religion. Arabs is how do we say it? They're ethnicity. They're a people.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they are. It's two different things. And it says that Ishmael at the end of days will come to the aid, not to the aid, but will want to coexist with the kids of Yitzhak Avinu, which is us. And you see the difference in, I don't get the current events, but how the whole
Abraham Accord.
AU and all these countries, right, want to be friends with the Jewish people. But unfortunately, there is this one disease, it's called Iran, which has nothing to do with Ishmael. There are a different set of people, which the Navi already prophesied about them, that they're going to be the ones that are going to be doing all the balagan. They're stirring the pot even now, that they're doing deals with Russia and trying to get ballistics in case for information, or whatever the case is, whoever's good in current events, right? They're trying to do these things in order to arouse what? Problems in the Middle East. If not for them, long time. Syria, Jordan, everything would have been peaceful. Everything would have went down. Everything would be good. Because I don't want to get into current events. Why am I getting into the story of Ishmael? Two main reasons. When Ishmael started to act very aggressive, the Midrash says that he told Yitzhak Avinu to hold a vessel, and he would shoot arrows on him, pretending he was doing target practice. Really, he wanted to kill Yitzhak Avinu. Wow. Ishmael. When Sarah Imeinu saw this, Sarah Imeinu told Abraham Avinu, he gotta go. He gotta go. Abraham Avinu didn't want. Why? Because that's his child. That's his child. Right? No, it's not his son, it's his child. Two different things. We'll explain later why.
He was jealous of this stuff?
Of course he was jealous, because he knew that he's the child of the maid. And Yitzhak Avinu was what? The child of the wife. It's totally different. I'm purposely specifying it. How do we know this? We read it every day in the morning. If you read Korbanot, what do we read? Ech Et abincha yechidcha, your only son, the Torah says. What about Yishmael? What about all the other 13 kids he had with Keturah? Are those not considered his children? He had more kids at the end. What happened to all of them? How come they're not considered his children? His sons. They are. But they're, as we call, they're the secondary. Not because they're not, because they didn't come from Sarai Imenu. They didn't come from Sarai Imenu. You're right. I'm not saying that. And this is also in this week's parasha. What does the parasha say? If a man marries 2 wives and he has a wife that he loves, and he has a wife that he doesn't, he has a wife that he doesn't love, and he has kids from both of them, the Torah says you have to treat them both the same. Why? Why? Because these are his wives.
Oh, doesn't it also say if he has a son from the wife that he doesn't love?
Correct. No, if he has an eldest son
from the wife
that he doesn't like,
he has to give.
He still has to give him double portion because he's the firstborn. That's what the Torah says.
Is that the same case with Ishmael?
No, that's exactly what I'm trying to bring a proof. Because the Torah over here says his wife. Nowhere in the Torah does it specify that Hagar was a wife. It specifies that she was a maid. She was a maid that was allowed to be having children with Avraham Avinu. He didn't have a relationship with Hagar. He didn't have a relationship with Hagar. She was only there because Sarai Imenu commanded Avraham Avinu to be with her. It's a big, big misconception. Big.
Is that allowed then?
Yes, yes, it is allowed. He married her.
My wife tells me.
Oh, so he didn't.
He's funny. The guy's funny. You made the ultimate joke. You want to know why? You want to know why? Nowadays it's abnormal. If not, you know how you wanna finish the shidduch crisis. You want to finish it? I have a solution. If the rabbis would allow men to have more than one wife, the shidduch crisis would end within days. Within days. Why? Because every woman would stop being too picky. Because they would know that someone else can also marry somebody else. Automatically. It would be like this. And not only that, a woman would automatically have a... You know how many girls are left every year not married? Thousands. Thousands of girls are not married every year. And they get older and older and older. And they just never get married. We would cut the shidduch crisis today if they would allow it. I personally do not suggest it. I think that whoever's not married and whoever doesn't have a good marriage would advocate for more than one wife. But a person that has a good relationship with his wife, not that he doesn't want it.
Yeah, I'm saying so.
In all the shas that I've learned, I didn't learn the whole shas. I didn't finish it yet. I never met a Tana or Amara that had more than one wife at a time. Never. It's found only by the Avot, Avraham, Isaac, Yaakov. I think even the Tanakh, I never found anywhere that they had more than one wife. Because the truth is, a man that wants more than one wife, he just wants really one thing. He just wants to have... If you call that kai, right? He just wants to have physical intimacy.
So why did they have that?
Why did they have it? It's a good question. It wasn't for physical intimacy. Avraham Avinu had it because his wife made him. And Yaakov Avinu had it because he was strict. You see, according to the mystical Torah, Yaakov Avinu had to marry all of those 4 women. But it wasn't supposed to. It happened, so it was supposed to. But it could have happened differently. It could have happened that he married Rachel. She would have 2 kids. She would have died. Then he would have married the maid. She would have died. Then he would have married the other sister. She would have died. She would have brought all the kids. She would have died. And then he would marry the last one. But what happened? Since Lavan tricked him, everything had to be changed. Or, I guess as God's plan was, that he should have married all 4 of them in the same time.
And it wouldn't work the other way. Yosef was one of the youngest.
Correct. But either way, he really had to be the oldest. And that's why Yaakov Avinu blesses him like he's the oldest. You see, we don't learn the Chumash in depth, so we don't really know what's flying. We learn the story because we heard it in school once, and it's exciting and it's religious. But let's get back to the Ben Sorer Umorer, and this is where it gets interesting. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu Melech Haolam, She'akol Niya Bidvaro. Avraham Avinu kicks out Ishmael. He packs him up a bag, gives him a bottle of water, gives him a piece of bread. He says, Habibi, you gotta go. Hagar and Ishmael are out the door. They left. Ishmael knew he did wrong. What happened? He was about to die. He fell down on the side of a well and he did teshuvah. Ishmael. He did teshuvah. He said, Hashem, I'm sorry. I was a bad person. I'm sorry. When he did teshuvah, when he was about to die, the Midrash says the angels went up to Hashem and said, take his life. He's a wicked man. God said, I can't. He just repent. How am I gonna kill a person that's now, he's a righteous person now? The angel said, what is he gonna do? Look at what his children are gonna do. Kill him because of his children. God said, that's not Judaism. That's not the way I run the world. Right now, he's a good person. What are you telling me about his kids and his grandkids and his great-grandkids? He's a good person. He is good. He's doing what he needs to do. And he spared his life. But this is a huge musar scale. We have a problem. As living in this generation, we have a huge problem. We dwell too much on our past. We dwell too much on things that already happened. You're not going to change it. It already happened. You already sinned. It's irrelevant. You have to understand you are getting judged by HaKadosh Baruch Hu based on the moment that you are now. If you didn't do teshuvah, you're going into Rosh Hashanah and you look at it as a joke. Now teshuvah doesn't just mean I'm sorry, and good. Teshuvah means that you feel so bad that you don't want to do it again. In your mind, you're not doing it again. You heard what I just told you? In your mind, at that moment, you're not doing it again. You're not touching her anymore. You're not wasting seed anymore. You're not saying Lashon Hara anymore. You're not eating not kosher anymore. You're not smoking weed anymore. You're not doing things that are chotel machti anymore. At that moment, you say, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen in 5 minutes from now? What? That's not my problem.
But we have a natural guilt already after that.
Oh! You have to change that! That's exactly my point! That guilt causes depression. Causes you not wanting to strive.
That makes you change.
No, what makes you change is coming to a realization of I want to do good.
Right after you say.
If you're going to be in your guilt, how is that going to cause you to change? Guilt doesn't make you change. Guilt makes you fall into depression. I know a guy that's still crying that he had an engagement and the girl, that he broke it off and now, I can't get married 3 years later, he's crying. And forget about it. It's over. She moved on. You didn't move on. You're a sucker. You gotta live past it. You gotta go weiter. You can't live on the past. Oh, this one hurt my feelings. I'm never gonna talk to them again. You're a child. You're a baby. Grow up. It already happened. Be the bigger person. I can't. She really hurt my feelings. Congratulations. Welcome to the big leagues, my friend. You gotta let it go. Allowing yourself to live in that pain is the word. It's so stupid. Pardon my French. Is the dumbest thing in the world. Why did God do this to me? When you die, you'll ask Him. If that's already a big whatever. We're not going to talk about that topic. Who cares why it happened? It already happened. What are you going to do about it? You're going to change the fact that something bad happened to you in your life? You're not going to change it.
You think you learned a lesson from it?
You definitely, but learning the lesson doesn't mean living in guilt. That's exactly my point. People want to put them together. I'm telling you, they're two different things. Living in guilt and learning your lesson is two different things. For example, You walk down the street. You're going right now. It's Lag BaOmer. It's Lag BaOmer. You want to go to a bonfire. You go to the bonfire, you're dancing, and the whole thing falls, and you get burnt. Now you get burnt. Now you have Chas Shalom, your skin deforms, it was a very bad burn. You have two options right now. To look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, oh, what do you have to boy? Oh, look how ugly I am. Who's gonna marry me? What am I gonna do? Cry all day and all night about it. Or you're gonna say, next time, I'm gonna make sure I'm 10 feet away from that fire. And walk away. It's very simple. That's what it means. You have to learn from it. Living in guilt is allowing you to relive that same moment over and over. That's called trauma. That's trauma. A narcissistic person, if a person is married to a narcissistic person, it was because they were always blamed their whole life. So what happens when they get married? They always try to justify everything. You ever saw those videos of a girl cheating and the guy catches and she says, oh, you didn't trust me. The hell does that mean? You cheated on me. What do you mean I didn't trust you? I caught you cheating. No, how did you find that? What does it make a difference to Paya? You idiot. You cheated. End of story. Oh, you shouldn't have found out. What the hell does that mean? All the guilt goes on the guy's head. What does that mean? Or vice versa, right? Men are not all angels. Some of them are the angel of death too. You know. What's the shaykhut? It's called a narcissistic people. They always want to be right. So what happens? People get married and they have these relationships with their spouses. Now, a smart spouse has to know how to deal with it. There's a way how to deal with all these tevas. The first thing always is to think positive.
Does that mean if you're not showing love? What is the reason why for cheating now?
What's the reason for a woman from cheating? There's hundreds of reasons.
Yeah, but what can you do to prevent that? Say, on both of these.
Be that guy.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, you have to know. I don't know why we're getting into this topic.
You talk about it.
Yeah, no, but I didn't talk about. I don't want to sound like a red pill guy because I am, but I'm not. I'm very in the middle. 2 weeks ago, I think we had this small conversation. Girls don't like the yes man. They like a nice man. They don't like the yes man. That's a big confusion that most people have. What's the yes man? The yes man is the nice guy to an extreme, which is
like a feminine person.
He's not just feminine. He's an idiot. He's a debil. That's what he is. A man has to be a man. Now, what does that mean? What is that? Every woman in her nature wants to submit. But she's not going to submit to someone that she knows that's not going to guide her the right way. Ever. It's in her nature to sense it.
So why do you like people that are not nice people? Like, what are they?
No, those are gold diggers. That's a bit different. You're going, no. You're saying something, I don't even want to get into this topic, but you're saying something totally different. Those kind of girls you have to run away from. That's a scary person. That's a lot of daddy issues, those kind of girls. It should let you know. It's a big problem. It's a huge problem. Because what happens is, all their suffering that's going to happen in their life is going to be on your head. It's all because of you. You did it. They just need someone to blame for the rest of their life. A normal girl wants to look at the biology of a human being. What is a woman in their biology that man doesn't have? She can form things. That's her teva. That's her nature. Man gives, and she takes whatever he gives, and she creates a whole different being from it. If you can only be mashpia, stupidity, then what is she going to do? She's going to form out for you a very stupidity kind of relationship. But if you form and you give and you're mashpia, good and positivity and don't worry, I got this. You know, fighting is not necessarily easy. I know why you asked this question. To be right at the moment is not always the right thing. This is the problem with most couples. They want to be right now. I'm right. It's me. You're always wrong. A man has to be a bardat. You have to learn to understand the nature and the psychology of a woman. She can think she's right. It's not going to make a difference. You have to show her that you're right. That's the difference. A man needs to guide. Unfortunately, we forgot how to do that. Men forgot how to guide. They forgot how to talk normally. They forgot how to associate with the opposite gender. This is why there are so many women that are stepping up their game to be men. Because honestly, it's our fault. We're trying to please people that are not even in, no, we don't even want to please them. We just don't want to be that sucker. Because our focus is only outer beauty, not inner beauty. They came out with a new study, you heard? All these women that takes these shots, Rahman al-Islam. You know how much problems now is coming because of these things?
More problems.
Botox?
It's such a, whoever has it, whatever, Hashem Yerachim, I'm so sad for you. I'm sad for you, first of all, because, I don't know. I find it very, I find it stupid. Me personally. It's a very stupid thing. That's what it is. Hashem, the greatest artist in the world, the greatest artist is God. The greatest artist in the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the greatest artist. He created you a certain way. What are you trying to change? Can I know? Who are you trying to please? Can I know? I really want to know. You're not doing it for yourself. I'm telling you. It's an excuse. You're saying you're doing it for yourself because you're not getting that attention. So you think if you look at yourself in the mirror and you feel more beautiful, you'll get more attention more outside.
It's all self-esteem.
I know. That's a problem. The key that you shouldn't fall into that trap, I'm not talking about the shots. You can do whatever you want with your body. I don't care.
What shots?
Whatever, these Botox, schmotox they do. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you good or bad for it. This is your life. But for you never to fall under that problem that you asked me, Yoshua, the key to that is to make sure you fulfill all needs, physically and emotionally. If a man cannot fulfill his wife's emotional needs, it's a big problem. Cheating comes from that, you should know that. You need to fulfill that. You need it, it's a must. Spending time with your spouse, not girlfriend. Spending time with your spouse every single day is a must. It's not, oh, I get tired of her, I'm sick and tired of her, I see her every... What kind of stupid marriage is that? It's disgusting. I hate when people tell me that. Miserable, I feel miserable for them. You have to every day spend at least 45 minutes with your
Don't
wife.
get annoyed when you say? I mean, like...
Why do people get annoyed? Can I
I don't
know?
know. I mean,
I'm just asking you, why do people get annoyed?
I don't know. You hear the same thing every day. It's just repetitive. It's like, sometimes I just want space and I don't want to be home. I like to do my things. And now it's annoying.
Why, I'm asking you, why is this all happening?
Because I want, huh?
Why? Why is this happening? Why are you getting tired of her? Why you just want your space? What is that? What is missing that you want your own space?
I don't know. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm saying I don't know. I'm serious.
There's no. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? I'll tell you why.
What's the issue?
It's because you guys don't know what marriage is. That's the biggest problem. People don't know really what marriage is. People think marriage is about physicality, paying bills, and showing yourself in public. They don't understand that all that has nothing to do with marriage. Marriage is it's self-improvement. It's therapy. It's she helping you grow and you helping her grow. How is someone that's supposed to help you strive to become a better person, you'd look at that person and say, I'm annoyed from you. You're only saying that because you don't feel she's helping you grow. And she doesn't feel that he's helping her. She doesn't feel that he is helping her grow. That's where the annoying part comes into. You're not understanding. You need to always tell yourself, I always want to be around this person. Not necessarily do you have to be. Or when guys say, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, she went on a vacation. What the living life hell are you talking about? Like, either I'm crazy, I'm sick, or you're mentally ill. And I know I'm not crazy or sick. I know I'm not crazy or sick. Those are people that are unhappy. Do not be fooled by the outside of people's marriage and relationship. Do not be fooled. This is exactly why it's so important. Chodesh Elul. Chodesh Elul is renewal. Renewal. That's why it's the Virgo. Renewal. We don't believe like the Christian, you're born again virgin. That's crap. You can never be born again virgin. You did that, you're done. You're never gonna be a virgin. You're done. You're finished. But we do believe in teshuvah. We do believe in repenting and never returning. That's what we do believe. That's what we do know. We don't believe women also get pregnant from thin air like Christians and Muslims. They both believe that Yoshka was born from thin air. I don't know. That's the most ridiculous thing to me, if you ask me. Imagine a woman comes and says, I got pregnant from who? God got me pregnant. Who's God? Can I see? He has an address, this guy? Calling him God, right? Who's this guy? It's stupidity. We don't believe in nonsense. We don't believe in nonsense. This is the problem with us. We have a problem. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We rather live in the misery that we know than in the opportunity that we don't know. That's the problem. We have to strive for that opportunity. Don't say, I don't know what it is. You're only saying you don't know what it is because you're still stuck in misery. You're still stuck in fear. You're still stuck in bitterness. Even though you look all happy and shiny and nice and you go to work, it's still in misery. You're not trying to get out of it. You're not trying to grow. You just, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. No, don't be comfortable. Be used to and not being comfortable. You have to understand that. We have a problem. We need to fix the problem. We have to strive to become better human beings. And this is what we learn from the Ben Sorer Morer. The Ben Sorer Morer is the child that's disgraceful. A child that disobeys his parents. We're not any different when we disobey HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have a set of rules that God put and gave us. And you know why He gave it to us? For our benefit. How is it our benefit? Through doing this mitzvot, we receive and we give to the world harmony. We are the balancers of the world. Rabbi, it's too hard to be tsanua. It's not hard. It's not hard. I promise you it's not hard. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, I give it to you. It could be uncomfortable. But if I would put you in Iran right now, is it gonna be hard? It's not gonna be hard. You know they're gonna kill you if you're not gonna be tsanua. That's what's gonna happen. If I put you in Yemen, better, even better. Oh, will you cover up so fast you won't even know. Why? We find excuses why not to do. We don't find solutions why to do. We don't have proper role models. We have role models that accept to do everything. We don't have boundaries. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created boundaries for a reason. We need that in our life. Boundaries is free will. That's what people don't understand. Not having boundaries is no free will. I explained this years ago in one of my shurim. When you don't have boundaries, you're actually saying I can do whatever I want. Saying I can do whatever I want means you don't have free will. Because free will is actually when you say, I cannot do whatever I want. I'm holding myself back.
Why does it sound like it's not?
It sounds like that. I tell you why, because it's a word of games. Because once you say, I cannot, it's not that you can't, you could, but you choose not. That choosing not, that automatically shows you that you have free will. Elamai, you take a person and he goes all out and he lives his life, he says, and he does all the avarot in the world. Eventually, you know what happens? He's just in a rat cage. He doesn't know how to get out of it.
He's a slave.
He's stuck. He's stuck in the game that he created. And I'm telling you, you can get out of it. You just have to say right now, I'm done. What is this one gonna say? I don't give a crap what this one's gonna say. That this one pays your bills. This one's gonna take care of you. This one's gonna do anything for you. This one you're gonna marry. This one's gonna be your kids. They're not. So why the hell do you care? If every time I would have to care what another person thought about me, I would be in jail right now. The fact I am where I am is because I knew how to pick up one finger. That's the honest truth. I'm just telling you the way it is. I knew how to point it to them and say, hey, too bad. Too bad. Oh, you're like this. I don't give a what you think about me. I don't care. I followed this. See this? And you should also follow it. Instead of criticizing, learn how to live by it. It's very important. We don't understand this. Why? Because we live in the 21st century. Everyone owes me, everyone has to do for me, everyone for me. No. What are you doing to contribute to this world? There's not a human being in this room, both doesn't make a difference, that can make a difference in this world. That can make a difference in this world.
We could, you said.
Every single one of you can make a difference. You know why we don't do it? Why do you think we don't do it?
I don't care enough.
No, I think people care and they still don't do it.
I mean, I'm the type of person I always think, oh, I want to change. But sometimes I realize I have to change myself before I can change the world, no? Or is that...
No. You know what you did? I'll tell you what you just did. How do we start the shiur? We said that people, he asked the question, people feel a sense of guilt after they do a sin. You just put two things together. There's self-improvement and then there is talent improvement. It's two different things. You're trying to say it's one thing. Until I don't become a self-improvement person, I won't be able to inspire others. It's not true. Inspiring others is actually what's going to help you to self-improve. Because that's going to be your motivation. People don't think that way. They think so negative. And that's why they're stuck in their bubble for the rest of their life. Because they're still thinking, I have to become a perfect person. Let me break it to you, my friend. You will never be a perfect person. You know what? You want to know something? You should not want to be a perfect person. Perfect person doesn't mean now in Torah. So for that, you should always strive to be that perfect, but you'll never reach it. And it's perfectly fine. Because if you would reach it, that means there's an end game. There is no end game to this. Impossible. It's impossible. If there's an end game, it's not true. It's done. Take it and throw it in the garbage. There is no end game. We will live forever, whatever that means. The reason why we don't do it is very simple. It's not that we don't care. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe we can do a change. We don't believe. It's like a couple that's married for 40 years. They have the same problem. Same problems for 40 years. And they go to all the marriage councils. They went to every shiur on the planet. They read all the marriage books. And you ask them, no, you went through everyone. You went through all the therapists. No, where's the change? Forget it. An old cow will be an old cow. An old dog doesn't learn new tricks. Rabbi, you're wasting time with us. The fact that they said that means they don't believe in their relationship. The fact that you can think that way, you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in yourself. That's the sad part. It happens to all of us. You know how many times I wanted to stop doing this shiurim? I was doing other things and delving in my learnings, even just having alone time. One student called me, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. This one, this shiur, that. I gotta motivate myself. I'm not gonna stop. I know I have a certain talent and I'm gonna do it. The question is, what is your talent? What can you do that no one else can do? Or what can you do that you have that desire to do in order to help others? I'm going to finish with this story. I went to one of my rabbis in a long time. I didn't go to him in Brooklyn. He's a Dayan actually. He's a tanker of. I went to him. And he asked us, he said, I didn't see you in many years. What are you up to? What do you do? And I was with my friend, my very, very close friend, Rabbi Daniel Babachayov, and he told, he said, we're in Kiruv. And he looked at us, he said, the greatest job in the world. And he told us a small story, which we heard, we know as people that do this in this field, we hear this story all the time, but it was good to hear it again. There's a king! And this king had 2 sons. And both of these sons got married, they started their life. And one of the sons one day decided he's going to go out of sea, out of town, different country, he wants to start a life. And he became very successful. Very successful. And the king decided, after many years, it was very far place, he said, I'm turning very old, I want to make a birthday party for myself. And he invites his eldest son, his youngest son, that was a regular human being at this point, he was living off daddy. And the eldest son came, and he was excited. He didn't see his father in so many years. He got dressed, he prepared himself, he got gifts. He ripped it. And the king goes to his eldest son, and he said, who am I? Who am I to you? He said, you're my father. He said, I'm your father? I'm not your father. He said, what do you mean? He said, if I'm your father, then he is your brother. If he's not your brother, I'm not your father. And the son didn't understand. What is he talking about? He said, you know your brother's having a hard time. You're not helping your brother? That means I'm not your father. Because if you're not helping him, he's not your brother. What is this story? Everyone knows people that they can help in their life. Everybody. If we're not there to help another Yid, even a Goy, if we're not here to help and not forget about our brother, then what are you doing on this earth? What are you doing? You're here for what? Just to make money? To live lavishly? What a purposeless life. Because you can enjoy life to your fullest the way you live now, the same way as you will live when you have billions of dollars. The same exact way. You want to know why? Because success is determined by satisfaction, not by how much zeros you have in the bank.
Why do people judge you off on zeros in the bank?
Because they judge doesn't mean I have to live based on how they judge me. No! You listen, comprehend what I just told you. Suck it in. I will not live my life and base my success on your opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you are. In general. In general, you're living for others. You're not living for yourself.
Some guy walks in the room and he makes $1 million, everybody goes, oh, that guy.
I'm telling you, I won't do that. I won't do that. Don't tell me yes. I won't do it. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because his life, the way he wants to live his life, unfortunately, is ruled by other people's eyes. My life, I might not have a lot of zeros, but I am happy with my life.
I still want zeros.
No, you're not happy. Because if you're saying you want something, that means you're not content with what you have.
So I want to learn Torah. So you know what? I'm not happy. That's it.
Can I tell you the difference? Can I tell you the difference?
Yeah.
Are you ready to accept it?
Of course.
When you learn Torah, it's not that you're not satisfied. You're satisfied, but you want more because you desire more.
Okay.
You don't do it for others. No, no, no. It's a self-desire. It's not a public desire. It's not shopping.
Okay.
When you make money, and if you're not doing bitsniut, you're doing it for others, what happens? You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for them. And you know what's my proof? The ones that make a lot of money, if they're not the ones to give also the same amount as they give, they're not really doing it for L'Shem Shamayim. They're doing it for themselves. There are some people, no, see, that's my point, not Maser. No, I'm talking about giving 70% of their earnings. I know people that do that. You'd be surprised. You know who does that? People that have such mazal, money just comes their way. You know people that money, I don't know, God, they were born on the mazal of whatever they touch is all success. These people, they don't make money for others because of others already. They make it because this is who they are. Those people give so much tzedakah, it will blow your socks off. That's the difference. A person that makes money because he wants validation from the world is not a rich person. He's poorer than the guy that's homeless on the street.
You can be making money, just stay quiet.
You're not listening. You're not listening.
I get what you're saying.
You're not listening.
Right, I understand what
you're not listening. You're being stubborn because you want to make money to impress. It is true. It is true because you can live very happy and satisfied the way you're living now. But you're not choosing that. You want to know why? Because you want to impress. You want that rollie on your hand. You want the Patek. You want the good car. You want the baddie wife. You think the only way you're going to get that is how? You think you're going to get that good wife, that good hot wife. How? With money. You're wrong. You're going to get the hot wife. She'll be a gold digger. Guaranteed. You're going to have a bad day? You know what she's going to tell you? Suck it up. I don't give a damn. That's what she's going to say. She's not going to be there for you in the hard times. You want to know why? Because she wants the rollie just like you. You're doing it for what? For her. Right? To grab her. And she's doing it for what? For your money. So who even needs you? Why are you even in the picture? What an idiot. The biggest debil I heard in the world. It's just a stupid way of thinking. Instead, what you should do, find someone genuine. Someone that's just happy and satisfied, wants to live a normal life. Now, I'm not telling you all girls that just want money. Yeah, actually I am. All girls that just want money, push them off the curve. You don't want that kind of wife. I promise you. You know what your daughters are going to end up? Do you know how your daughters are going to end up if they see their mommy only running for physicality? Oy lecha, forget about the day of judgment. Because you're going to have your hell on this world. I'm not joking with you.
Right.
You will see hell on this earth. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Because the second your wife is going to tell your daughters or your sons, don't listen to him, you lost everybody. You lost everyone in that house. You know how you make sure that never happens? When you and your wife spend personal time together. Not intimate time. Personal, emotional time every day. What happens automatically?
Connection.
You're on the same page. She knows one thing. If the kids speak bad behind Abba's back, they're going to get a smack in their face. And she knows that if mommy needs help in the house and Abba walks in, daddy's home. Daddy's home. I better behave. If not, I'm going to get a whoop ass. Yeah, it's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Don't tell you to now take your son and hang him from chandelier. No. But if sometimes a kid needs to get his ass whipped, sorry for my French, he needs to get his tuchus whipped. Nothing wrong with that. Don't tell you to come with baseball bats and start beating up your kids. No, I'm not talking about that, of course. That's abusive. No one's talking about that.
Doesn't Shlomo HaMelech say, one who spares the rod from his child doesn't really love him?
The Shlomo HaMelech says, the one that doesn't know how to show his child the stick hates his child. Not because you have to abuse him. Again, do not take things out of proportion. Don't be biblical in the sense of you got to follow the word of what it says. There's pirushim on it. What does it mean? The child has to have a certain fear of the father. Daddy's coming home. Oh my God. Mommy, I'm sorry. What do you need from me? I'll do whatever you want. Don't tell daddy! Yes, that's healthy. You should know that's healthy. For daddy to come home with candy. Oh, hi everybody. And they come say, oh, this is my dad. Look at it. Look at it. I don't want to. I'll give you an example. Today, one of my daughters said to my wife, I don't want to eat whatever you cooked. Cook me something else. My wife said, I can't handle it. I'm tired. I came from work. I have stuff to do. I said, don't worry, I got this. I sat down in the kitchen when all the kids are eating. She didn't want to eat. She was standing. I said, you're going to either eat what we have or you're going to go to sleep hungry. The choice is yours, but you pick. She thought about it for 5 minutes. She said, okay, I'll eat it. And then she went for double portion. You want to know why? Because there's the same understanding between parents. Not those sick parents, oh, you're not going to eat it? I'll cook you something else. Are you stupid in the head? Have you lost your mind? I want to know, did you lose your rocker? Can I know? Yes, those parents lost their rocker. Why? When I was a kid, my parents didn't do things for that. They didn't love me. They only gave me whatever I got left over. Get the hell out of here. And look, you came out normal. You came out normal. You're perfectly fine. You have mental issues. That has nothing to do with your parents already. That has to do between you and your husband. You didn't fix your relationship. You need to come with a baggage. Either you're going to come into your marriage with certain traumas from your parents, or you're going to have certain traumas with other things. You got to pick. You got to pick what it is. It's going to happen. You're going to have some fault. You got to pick what it is. I promised you. When you get married, I have a friend you actually know. Young guy, very rich. Very rich. He wanted to marry this girl. It worked out. It didn't work out. He told this girl like this. He said, why don't you want to marry me? I have a house already. He was saying already, he wanted her. He was already saying all of what he has. He told me this. I took him by his ear. I said, you're the stupidest man I know in the world. The second you tell this information to anyone, you're not marrying her. She's marrying your money. What you have is a secret until you get married.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
That's what I said.
You don't open your mouth. Never. Never. You keep it to yourself. You have billions of dollars. That's none of her business right now. It's not. The only thing she needs to know that you can provide for the family. I'm not telling you to get married and she says, oh, how are we going to live? No, that's just, you guys are just stupid. You have to have money in order to live. But now to share all of your wealth to the world, because maybe it's not going to work out. And now she knows. And what happens if she knows? Another 1,000 other girls know. And those 1,000 girls, why do they want to go out with you now?
Okay.
Because of the money. That's just what happens. And I'm not telling you all girls are like this. But a big portion, unfortunately, are like this. And I don't need to convince anyone about this. You have to use your head. You have to know what to say, when to say, how to say. You can't just talk from thin air. You can't. You cannot try to be successful or have certain desires and expectations for approval, for validation, for acceptingness. You know, that's been a problem in a long time for you. Until you're not going to learn to accept yourself. Yeah, talking to you.
I probably accept myself.
No, you don't.
Just because I say these things.
No. Listen carefully. Listen. Until you're not gonna. No, that's not what I said. You're not listening. Until you're not gonna accept yourself, accept how you got to where you are now, be happy of the roller coaster, you're not gonna find inner peace. You're not. You're not gonna find it. Finding inner peace comes through accepting. That's how it happens. The most dangerous human being is a human being that doesn't judge. He's the most dangerous human being because nothing that anyone will ever tell him will ever affect him. Ever. That's who we need to be. A real man, I always say this, a real man has to know how to hold a sword in one hand and a baby bottle in the other hand. That's a real man. To go to war, to kill someone, chop off his head, and at the same time, feed his child. That's a real man. That's called what women like. Not a guy that's holding 2 bottles or a guy that's holding 2 swords. They don't like that. They need a balance. They need a man, and they also need that compassion. That's what we're forgetting. This society is teaching us either rainbow or either red pill. There is no green, there is no harmony. And that's what real men are missing. If real men will be men, I promise you, the girls will calm down. They'll calm down. I guarantee it to you. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.